Welcome to LabRats. My name is Angela, and today I'm going to teach you all about plants. Plants are everywhere. Tall oaks home to trilling woodpeckers, shade for thirsty leopards gathering by pouring rainforest waterfalls. They fill up the plains of Africa, and they seep through the cracks of ancient human history, from the Great Wall of China to the ruins of Machu Picchu. They flow below us in oceans, they decorate our lawns, they occupy our fridges. Plants are essential for life on Earth. They make up the food we eat, giving us the energy that powers our daily life. They provide the oxygen we need to breathe. Plants also take out carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, reducing greenhouse gases that contribute towards global warming. Now, as we know, there are many different fields of science, ranging from chemistry to physics to astronomy. Because plants play such an important role on our planet, there's even a specific field of study centered around studying plants called botany. Botanists are a type of scientist that focuses specifically on plants. Botanists might investigate the interactions between plants, animals, and environments, study the structures of different plants, and record how they grow and develop. With their research, we can better understand plants and even use them to make things like medicine or renewable fuel. Now, imagine you had just stumbled upon an undiscovered island. While walking around in the forest, you see many peculiar plants. How do you know if you discovered a new species? Well, you would study them. This is exactly what Lewis and Clark did on their famous expedition in 1803. Along with their 45-person team and their translator Sacagawea, the two explored the newly added Louisiana Purchase that gave the U.S. access to the states of California, Oregon, and Washington. Lewis was put in charge of studying vegetation, under orders of the President, Thomas Jefferson, to collect information on the new plants he discovered. Lewis documented and collected up to 240 plant presses, which allowed scientists to study the vegetation of the newly added parts of the United States. In fact, Lewis's plants are still preserved even to this day. The technique Lewis used is called plant pressing, and it allowed him to preserve species to be studied later. This technique has been used by botanists for thousands of years, and we'll show you how you can preserve your own plants as well. Now, imagine walking along the sidewalk in your neighborhood and seeing a pretty flower swaying in the breeze. Perhaps you pick it to put it in a vase or even give it to your mom. While beautiful for a couple of days, have you noticed that these flowers will start to lose their color and wilt? Well, let's explore what causes this to happen and then learn how scientists prevent this through plant pressing. Bacteria are microorganisms that decompose and digest organic matter, like dead plants and animals. When combined with sunlight, plants are decomposed by bacteria. However, plant pressing prevents bacteria from forming and breaking down the plants. Let's learn how to press plants ourselves. For this experiment, you will need your favorite flowers or leaves, dish soap, water, paper towels, cardboard, 2 bowls, heavy books, and lots of patience. Start off by collecting your plant samples. Then flowers and leaves work best. Avoid succulents, plants with thorns, or toxic and poisonous plants like poison ivy. Washing the plants in soapy water helps to remove the bacteria from the surface of the plant, just like washing your hands. By pressing the water out of the plants, bacteria have no water to grow and cannot form. Dip your plant samples into a bowl of soapy water. Then, rinse by dipping them into a bowl of fresh water. Carefully pat them dry with a paper towel. Once the plant samples are pressed, they will be preserved for months or even years, as long as they are in a dry environment out of the sun. Take a piece of cardboard and lay a piece of paper towel over it. Place your plant samples over the paper towel. Lay another piece of paper towel over the plants and put an additional piece of cardboard over it, creating a cardboard sandwich with the plants in the middle. Try not to let the leaves overlap when they dry. You want to see all the intricate veins and patterns. Place this in between the pages of a large book, and then stack books or heavy items on top to weigh it down. After finishing, be very careful with your new plant presses. Change the paper after 1 week of waiting, and then leave your books alone for a couple weeks until your flowers are completely dry. Try to check on the flowers sparingly. Change the paper after 1 week of waiting, and then leave your books alone for a couple weeks until your flowers are completely dry. After finishing, be very careful with your new plant presses. You've successfully preserved your own plant specimen to study. You can even use these creatively. These pressings can make awesome bookmarks or cards if you tape or carefully glue your presses onto cardstock in the shape of beautiful designs. Now that we've successfully preserved a plant, it's time to take a closer look. Now, because pressings last such a long time, botanists can use this to their advantage to study many different things. One thing they examine is plant structure. A plant has a couple of main parts, which are its roots, stem, leaf, flowers, and seeds. First, a plant uses its root to absorb water and minerals found in the soil. These materials travel up the stem, using a combination of two processes called cohesion and adhesion. Water clings to itself and to the inside of the stem and is pulled upwards. The stem is also used to support the plant and keeps it standing tall and straight. The leaves of the plant branch out of the stem and have a very important job. They collect energy from the sun in a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis allows plants to make food. While looking at these different parts of a plant, scientists may also study the differences and similarities between different species. Just like how siblings from the same family share similar features, similar species of plants also share similar features. For example, you might notice that a lot of flowers in your neighborhood look alike, but they are actually different species. Can you see the striking similarities between a daisy and an aster? These two flowers are related species who come from the same family of plants. On the other hand, just like how your hair might be different from your classmate's hair, different species of plants can also be very different from another. Check out the differences between the pine needles on your Christmas tree and the banana leaves from your favorite yellow fruit. While these leaves are different, keep in mind that they still share similar purposes. Both pine needles and banana leaves still use photosynthesis to create food for themselves. Now, let's explore a little more ourselves. Let's learn about the parts of a flower. Much like the overall plant itself, a flower also has its own smaller parts, each with its own function. The main parts of a flower are its sepal, petals, stamen, and pistil. The sepal of the flower protects its interior. Flowers also serve a very important role in plant reproduction. They do this by attracting pollinators with their petals, which have vibrant colors and patterns. They also produce pollen in the stamen, enticing pollinators to come closer. The flower, stamen, and pistil make up the reproductive organs of a flower. When reproducing, flowers will grow into fruit and hold the plant seeds inside. As we know, fruits are super sweet and delicious. This draws animals, and when they eat a fruit of a plant, they ultimately carry the seeds with them to different places as the seeds exit their bodies through waste. Now that we've discovered so much about plant pressing and plant discovery, it's your turn. Next time you're out in nature, observe all the different types of plants that are growing around you. Marvel at their importance, purpose on our earth, and examine the differences and similarities between all the types you see. And just like Lewis and Clark, you might even discover a new species on your own. Happy sciencing!